This is WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. I am your host, Loaf, and this is Off the Record, a WKNC podcast series where artists of many different genres and origins are interviewed. This week, I had the pleasure of speaking with another NC local band based here in Raleigh, My Sister Maura. That song that was just playing before was Mars by My Sister Maura off of their EP. It's great to have y'all here in the studio. Thank y'all for coming down.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Great. So introduce yourself. What's y'all's names? What instruments do you play? Yada yada yada, all that type of stuff. So.
Yeah, my name is Katie, and I am the guitarist, and I do vocals as well, and a little bit of cello.
Ooh.
Fancy.
My name's Elijah. I play bass and I sing a little bit.
I'm Dave, and I hang out in the back playing the drums.
Nice. This just came to mind of me, Elijah, but you're the tallest and you're the bassist player. You're kind of like Chris and like Nirvana type of thing.
He really is.
I start having to take off my shoes or something. Really.
Yeah. It's I don't know. That just came into mind for me.
Actually, this is Katie and I went to go see Nirvana, a Nirvana cover band.
Yeah. A little bit close to the mic. Sorry.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and they were hilariously amazing. It was so fun, but
shockingly kind of good.
But we were talking about because they kept doing the Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic running into each other on stage and stuff, and we were talking we got to start doing that.
We got to do it.
I think that I saw actually a Nirvana cover band as well. This was back when I was 18, back in my hometown of Swansboro. But it was Nirvana. That's how they were.
Oh my God.
So Nirvana or something like that. So it's.
I got a shirt, and it says the tribute experience.
The tribute experience.
Upon first glance, it would look like I'm just your average Nirvana stan, but no.
The tribute experience.
I like the stands that stand Nirvana. That's what I. So are y'all originally from North Carolina? Have you guys lived here your whole lives? What's
Most
up with
of
it?
my life,
We have, yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're not interesting in that respect.
Yeah.
No.
Are y'all from the Raleigh area, or are you just kind of were y'all from everywhere?
I am. I was
Triangle
born
area?
and grew up here in North Raleigh.
Cool.
They're Raleigh transplants
I
now.
lived in Durham until this past January and moved to Raleigh.
Cool.
I grew up in Hickory. It's it's a little bumbly little town.
Yeah. Cool. So getting into My Sister Maura, how long has My Sister Maura been around? Have you guys sort of been as a group together?
So this band officially got started pretty much April of last year, 2022. So just over a year. We did not play our first live show though until October of last year. So we haven't been playing live quite as long as we've been together, but those first few months were really dedicated to just writing some material, kind of figuring things out as a band. So we've really made a lot of progress, and so we're excited to see what the future holds.
Funny thing actually is Elijah and I met and we bonded over the Smiths.
They did.
And then Elijah judged me real hard when I said my favorite Smiths album was The Queen is Dead. He was really impressed. He was like, "Oh, the Smiths," and then I said that, and he was like, "Oh, okay." Well,
never mind.
But then he hit me up. He hit me up in April and was like, "You want to start a band?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I guess the resentment didn't last too long."
Is that easy, huh?
This band got band got started from a band that Elijah and I used to play together, and that was how I met him when we were both students at NC State. We had started a band called the Outside Cats that got broken up due to COVID. So when Elijah hit me up in early 2022 said, "Hey, I want to get something started. You want to play drums for me?" I said, "Absolutely, let's do something." So here we are. So it's been really great. I'm truly honored to play with these two.
Oh.
Dang, that was
Sweet.
sweet.
Well, it goes both ways, Dave.
Thank you.
Ah.
Good.
We are
Glad
honored to
y'all
have you.
haven't kicked me out yet.
That's our
All right. So how long have you guys been playing individually, your own individual instruments? Obviously, Dave and Elijah, you've been playing in a separate band since 2018. You've been playing at least in the scene. But how long have you all been playing your instruments in general?
Probably started playing guitar when I was 15, and eventually transitioned to bass because I don't know. don't really know how that happened. I mean, I play guitar and bass still. Like I still play guitar a lot, but I kind of just prefer playing bass in bands. But yeah, since I was like 15.
I actually got started with piano. That was my first instrument, like every good Asian kid. And and I am I wrong?
I mean, I don't know.
So I did that, and then just kind of transitioned to guitar after some time, and also got started with orchestra, which I did for about 7 years. And now I'm a very mid cello player, so I just stick to playing like whole notes. But it works out. So yeah, I've been playing. I don't know, about since middle school, like guitar wise, and then piano and cello a little earlier.
I was about to say, could we because definitely in Faithful Daisies and Ghost in oh my god, which I forgot what's it? Ghost in the Pavement.
Yeah,
Ghost in Pavement. You do see. I do hear that cello, so
Yeah.
definitely coming in.
Yeah.
I got started playing percussion in 8th grade when I was 14, so 10 years now. But so that was like snare drum, mallet type stuff in school band. So drum kit, 9 years. So that was definitely where I kind of switched. I used some of my classical training to kind of teach myself how to play drum set. So yeah, but that's certainly a lot more fun.
Cool. So I know that so Elijah and Dave, you have this is your first entry into the NC local scene. You were, what's the band name again? It had something to do with cats, right?
The Outside Cats. That was our previous band.
But
Yeah.
Katie, is this like your first like foray into sort of a more band sort of in the NC local scene, or?
Yeah,
It
it
is?
is. It's
Okay.
been really fun. But
Cool.
yeah, it definitely is.
Nice. So I guess like why did you guys originally form like that like a year ago? Was it just because y'all were just kind of just like, again, like called each other, like hooked up, or like, hey, you want to start something, or just like, or is it just some happenstance? Like, what's up with it?
I like graduated from NC State December 2021, and then I was like, didn't really know what I was gonna do. Went home and lived with my parents for a few months.
Yeah.
I just started applying for jobs, and I just happened to get a job in Raleigh, so I moved back here, and so that's where I live now. And I was like, well, now I need to start a new band. I mean, like, yeah, like.
That was exactly what happened.
Yeah,
and,
but
and him knowing that obviously I was here in Raleigh said, "Hey,
Yeah.
want to get something going?" I said, "Absolutely, let's do it." So and here we are. So
Yeah,
it's been really
actually-
great.
I was about to say, how did you get into it, Katie?
Yeah, it's funny because so we have a mutual friend, Elijah and I, and so we
Yeah.
met through him, and it's like after a couple months when I mentioned, before Elijah hit me up, he actually proposed the idea of us being like a kind of post-punk new wave band.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
I said
then-
dark wave.
Dark wave, and then
Dark
it just
wave.
transitioned to shoegaze at some point.
Yeah, eventually it went shoegazy.
I don't know how
Yep.
that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I mean, you get so many pedals into it. I mean, you're basically just shoegaze, you know?
Yeah.
You're-
I started with the notion. I already had like a tuner pedal, but that was,
Yeah.
that was it.
That's
And
the
I was like,
first pedal you
that's
need.
all I need.
Yeah.
A tuner, no, a looper. I had a tuner and a looper, and then I got a tuner, and I was like, that's all I really need. And I was like, I'll cap it at that. And now I have like 6 or 7.
That's not even that bad.
It's
I
not
say you
bad.
still don't have Brandon beat.
Yeah. And so
Brandon's a friend of ours.
he has
okay.
a massive pedal board.
Yeah.
Like he has like 4 like distortions on there, and he's like, I need them all like for one gig, and I'm like, why?
Okay, but he does sound exactly like
He
Albert Hammond
does.
Jr.
Shout out to Brandon getting that Strokes tone like perfect.
Like it's
Yeah.
to a T. Like
yeah, they're in Heat Stroke, by the way. Just shouting out their band too.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess going into the music, and I guess you did mention shoegaze. You again, like I saw that like keyword, and like I remember like, oh wait, I DJ'd shoegaze for like a couple months. I was like, and I've always liked that sound. So right now you do have your one EP out, Fainted Screams. We won't talk about that right now, but we'll get like more into it specifically in a second. But I want to talk about sort of how you define your own music and your tone. So when I first started listening to you guys, it was did seem indie shoegaze, sort of like very dreamy dream pop type thing. At least that's how I saw it. And I don't really know of any other Raleigh people that sort of like have have defined themselves as shoegaze, or have that sort of like vibe or like tone with them, like specifically. Do you guys hear yourself as that sort of genre? Do you guys see like yourself as just like going all over the place? Like how do you guys personally see your own tone and sort of sound?
It's funny because like we said initially, I was gonna try to be like a post-punk darkwave band. That got abandoned very quickly, and then I was like, we started writing songs together, and I was like, I feel like we could do some shoegaze. And then like we had like 3 or 4 songs written. And I was like, we kind of went in with the mindset of sounding shoegazy, but then we're like, none of these songs sound like shoegaze. Like they actually don't. Like they all just kind of sound like
It's like indie
indie rock.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
that's definitely kind of the mutual
Yeah.
influence that we all have. So I guess that's kind of how it
just like
gets to that
undertones
point.
of
Yeah.
shoegaze.
But then we thought none of them sounded shoegazy, but then a lot of people do come up to us and say like, wow,
Yeah.
you sound so
It
shoegazy.
actually
Certainly-
really surprises
Certainly,
me.
Yeah.
some of our songs sound more shoegazy than others,
like
so it
ours,
definitely depends.
maybe.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of what we like, is varying our sound, experimenting, trying
Yeah.
different sounds. So
I think it's definitely I think definitely having that mentality of sort of not putting yourself in one genre or like
For sure.
one soundscape too early, or at least
Yeah.
especially just like if you're just like a local band in general, it's definitely like, I guess for me it's not really worth it. It's good to sort of experiment around it,
yeah.
which is why when I say more shoegaze, I definitely do think more alternative and sort of like dreamy and sort of just like obviously more sort of a sort of, I guess, wavy and sort of hazy and sort of all type of effects. But yeah, so you guys, if you could, nah, that's not a good question to ask. Hold on. So I'm gonna, how am I gonna say this? On a scale from like super fuzzy to like super dreamy, how would you say you put yourself into it from like a 1 to 10 scale?
Actually, this is kind of funny because
Yeah.
Elijah has like a plan. I'll let you explain the plan.
So, okay. So like one is super dreamy, 10 super fuzzy.
Yeah,
Everyone.
yeah.
So I feel like the first EP, is maybe about like a 2 or a 3. It's super dreamy. It's not very hard. It's very mellow, very dreamy. But and a lot of people have kind of mentioned like how they like that sound because there are a lot of like, more popular shoegaze bands these days, and it's really popular to like, all the new shoegaze bands are really heavy and really loud
yeah.
and really hard.
Yeah, so yeah, okay. Like I guess more sort of with that, it's definitely Trauma Ray and Slow Crush. I think it's definitely a good example of the heavier type stuff, yeah.
But yeah, it's funny though because I think I'm gonna just like fall into that theme, and because I am kind of planning for our next release to be a lot more fuzzy and loud and like thrashy,
Yeah.
a little more
Okay.
thrashy.
heck yes.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah, I was
that
about to
for
say.
LP2, which
Yeah,
will
I've
be,
got a whole plan. Don't worry about that.
that's like the third step of the plan. LP2 might be like just more, I don't know, sad or like
Sad.
I guess like
More like slowcore.
like more slowcore.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Cool. Is I guess Dave, are you excited to have it be more thrashy in that
Yes.
drum part especially? Or,
Yes.
like what's up with it?
I guess just my drumming influencers are usually a lot of classic rock drummers. Like John Bonham is definitely my biggest one. So definitely that style of being very hard hitting, fast is
Yeah.
definitely kind of my sweet spot where I like to play. So that just fits me in the way I like to play very, very well. So that's
Dope.
I'm definitely excited to do that. So yeah.
Is it okay? So right now, I guess you could say that you're definitely more sort of, I guess, sort of, if you know these bands, are sort of more Blue Smiley, sort of just Leave the Planet type bands, or it's like they're basically very dreamy, very sort of just like out there, and then you're getting more into like, or at least you're planning to get more aggressive and more sort of like tonally fuzzy as it sort of gets into the point where like, do you have like an endpoint for like your plan or fantasy, or is it just kind of just like we're just gonna go wherever it takes us type of thing?
Gonna see where it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you guys like influence wise? Do you guys look at more sort of like classic bands in the genre that you're looking more towards? Or you kind of look at new stuff, like you kind of do stuff on your own, sort of jam together? Like, how is that process like when you're writing your music and a song?
I think like I'm primarily influenced. Like if we're talking shoegaze, usually like earlier shoegaze bands,
Yeah.
like 14 Ice Bears or like Pale Saints, like that kind of late 80s, early 90s shoegaze. Classic Slow Dive and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, we're influenced.
Yeah, I
Like
mean-
we're all influenced by a lot.
I mean,
those
a
things.
lot of like even like more poppy bands like Japanese Breakfast.
Oh yeah,
um,
Japanese Breakfast has been a big one for me too.
Yeah, they're great.
I know that I know, Dave, that you said earlier that you really like the Foo Fighters.
Yes, yes.
When we were talking earlier.
Yes,
but-
I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan. I saw them live my freshman year of college, fall of 2017, which was awesome. Dave Grohl is definitely one of my musical heroes. So definitely, I guess it's kind of weird. My influences, are, at least on my musical style, are a lot older, like 60s, 70s rock. It's like John Bonham, Ginger Baker. Those are kind of my two primarily drummer influences. So I usually try to incorporate that type of sound into my playing when I'm working with them.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I really didn't hardly know anything about shoegaze until I joined this band.
Yeah.
So the two of them definitely really opened my eyes a lot more to that
Is
That
a
I-
shoegaze band.
that I didn't have any knowledge of before. So that's kind of, I guess I incorporate a lot of classic rock influence into my playing, but try to make that into as shoegazy a sound as I can.
Have
So.
you have any of these sort of like influences, or the way you want to take it, have they sort of like clash together? Especially because classic rock, it seems it's definitely a lot more sort of just like sort of, I guess, not necessarily plain, but way more structured than
Absolutely.
than Japanese Breakfast or just like slow dives type stuff. Have you guys seen that sort of clash between each other with influences? Has been
Really?
sort of like a smoother sort of like come together?
Really, I wouldn't say it's clashed at all.
Okay.
In fact, it's definitely made me grow as a musician playing with them and that playing with people that have very different influences. And I guess kind of what I think really helped me train to be part of this band was I was playing in a jam band before I even started playing with Elijah. So that really helped me get a lot better, being a lot more free flowing with my playing, changing quickly. So that definitely made me, I think, a lot better suited for this. Putting that influence in there as well.
Dave is a real chameleon. He can kind of just
Yeah.
like
Just
go
kinda
with
go everywhere.
anything and figure it out and make it work.
I try.
Cool.
And kind of trying to keep this a little bit on the down low, but we might be trying to shoegazeify like a classic rock song for Dave.
Oh,
Just-
really?
just for Dave.
Just for
Just
Oh,
for
Dave.
that's
me.
awesome. So,
I
awesome.
threw out the idea at one point of trying to cater to the dads in the audience. So that was a thought, was trying to do a shoegaze spin on an old classic rock song
Yeah.
or something. So
Instead of just adding one distortion pedal, you have
Yes.
like 15 others, and then you got it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
I'm the boomer of this group with my music taste, but hey, so be it.
We're gonna whip that out at one show in the future, so stay tuned.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Get ready.
Just like a stereo to have in cover, but just like absolutely like he's like fuzzed out. Oh my
Yeah,
god, that
yeah.
was so cool. But I guess like also going into just more sort of like general sounds and all that type of stuff. Your EP, Faintest Screams, it released on February 26, 2023. So it's coming up on its 3-month anniversary, I think. Or at least when you guys are sort of more officially sort of out there. How do you like it overall? Do you like the sound of it? Do you like everything about it?
That's
like,
a
is there
good
type of things where it's kind of just
question,
like,
Mid.
you wanna change? Is it mid?
See,
Okay,
I think it's
mid.
because we've heard it so much in the
Yeah.
recording process. Over time, we were just like, okay, we've heard it, we get it.
Okay.
Yeah, we get it.
But I personally like it. Like if I was to listen to it as an outsider, I'd probably like it.
Yeah.
But it's just weird, like listening to your own work. Like you
Right.
have, you have such a strong connection to your music, that you didn't create. So when you
Mm.
create something, also like I'm super judgmental of my own work,
Mm-hmm,
as Elijah knows. So it's I like it. I really like the EP. But it's just a different perspective coming in as the
I
Yeah.
agree with that a lot. Like, I resonated with a lot of that. The only part I like is the end of "In My Room."
creator.
That's like that part I think is good.
I like the end of Daisy.
Nah, all I like is the end of "In My Room." Everything else is I could leave.
What do you like, Dave? What's your favorite?
I would say honestly, I think my favorite on that one is Mars. Personally, I think that
Mhm.
really is a good way to kind of showcase our sound a little bit, kind of what
Mhm,
what we
mhm.
want to be as a shoegaze band.
Okay.
We're not
but-
a shoegaze band, Dave.
Oh, what?
wait a second.
Huh?
No,
Personally,
the
but
drumming
yeah.
in Mars slaps.
Mhm.
Thank you.
This is a good little.
And
drum
I
riff.
was talking about like our style and influence earlier. That's definitely one of the ones that I get to wail and be a little harder on with that one. So I definitely like that one. That it's kind of a sweet spot for me
Yeah.
of that type of drumming. So
Mars
yeah.
is definitely really mellow on the record, as are all the songs.
Mhm.
But we play Mars a lot heavier live.
We
And,
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It are a lot of these songs like is it definitely more collaborative, like each song has your own little influence on it, or have each of you sort of like taken one song and like because you did mention like Mars was sort of more of a drum track that you like and sort of like to play in general. Is it more very collaborative, or is it more kind of everybody does
It
thing, or is it just kind of
varies.
very
It
okay.
varies based on the song. Like our first song that we wrote together, actually, I think Elijah, when we first met, no, was it when we kind of tried to write Silver?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the first day I met Elijah, we wrote Silver, and
Silver?
yeah,
It's not on the record.
I was about to say,
Stay
upcoming.
tuned.
But yeah, it depends. We either collaborate on it, or like maybe Elijah writes it or I write it, and then we kind of like offer suggestions on how to what direction to take it in. And we actually really want to have Dave like shine on on a song in the future. We want him to kind of be the driver of that, and then just work around him, because he is kind of the glue of this band. So
Not aware of this. Thank you.
we'd love to have that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely our creative process is extremely collaborative.
Okay.
So I think that really helps us as a band.
I think
Nice.
also like labels too. A lot of people ask me like, "Oh, like are you are you what are you like what are you in the band?" I think honestly, I just like it to be, whoever, like float between roles. Like me and Elijah kind of like switch off between bass and guitar sometimes. So I don't really like to label like, and someone's like, "Who's the front man?" It's like, I mean, there isn't really one. Like we kind of just
Katie.
share the role
It's Katie.
because we both sing.
Okay. Cool. It's I guess speaking more specifically now into these songs. Actually no. Yeah. Okay. That's a good transition. What is what's your guys' favorite songs individually of the EP that you like to either play live, or you just like the sound of, or just in general? If you guys had to put away all your judgments of your song and you could only play one song, what would it be?
just from the 4 on the EP.
Yeah.
I mean, I think In My Room is my favorite still. Like, I know Katie's been telling me a lot, like, I'm so tired of playing In My Room because we played all of these songs so many times. But I think In My Room's still probably my favorite because it just has a really fun bass line. It actually is a very, like, post-punk, like The Cure kind of bass line.
A lot of the bass lines on your songs, like, I love.
Oh, thank you.
I love when bassists use picks, and it sounds and it can
That's a lot
kind
of
of stick
attack.
with that.
Yeah.
So like again, it's sort of just like you're slow, you're very dreamy, and then you have a pick bass that goes with it. I'm like, that sounds great.
Wow,
So.
that's really cool that you pointed that out. Like, knowing that I use a pick without knowing it.
Oh,
That was
no,
cool.
oh, no,
that's
I love that. But
No, dude, like, actually, R.I.P. Andy Rourke, the bassist from the Smiths. He just died a few days ago.
Okay. Oh.
One of the honestly most creative bass players I've ever heard, and like really probably my biggest influence as a bassist.
Mhm.
Rest in peace. What a bassist. But yeah, probably In My Room because the bass line at the beginning is really fun to play, and just the end is so loud and big, and that's like probably my favorite thing we've recorded thus far.
Mhm.
I would say I enjoy playing Mars the most. It's just like super fun to
A bit
play.
closer.
Yeah, I would say I enjoy playing Mars the most. Just the chords, like the chord progression itself, and then how it goes from like kind of like loud and thrashy to that really soft kind of pre-chorus or whatever you call it. I don't even know what it is, but the dynamics. I'm a big fan of dynamics.
The chord on Mars is just like a literal like open C major chord, but then you just use
With
your
an
thumb.
F.
You use your thumb to play the F on the bass.
I did see that because I was looking through your Instagram and your latest video of your of the house show that you did, and it zooms into you playing guitar and you using your thumb.
Oh yeah,
for,
I love
like
using my thumb
for like an E for like to do on an E, which is awesome. I love it because especially it looks really cool. It's like you're playing it on
I
the.
remember the day Elijah texted me and he was like, "Bro, a C with an F bass," and he was
Okay.
like freaking out.
But like, actually, it's really just an F major 7,
Yeah.
like, technically speaking. And so we actually just reused another major 7.
I mean, that's all we do. It's just major 7s. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Sounds good all the same anyway. So.
Okay. Well, as heard on the EP, I would say Mars, but definitely playing live. I think Ghost is my favorite to play live because we play that one live very differently than how you hear it on the record. We actually have a jam that we do afterwards when we play it live.
Dope.
So that's definitely my favorite to play live, just because of that contrast and transition. But going back like drumming styles and stuff, I do like as heard on the EP. I love playing Mars,
Mhm.
just the way the beat, the tempo, the way it meshes with the guitars and bass. I just love playing that one.
Okay. So, do you guys bring a cello to any of your live shows?
I
or
actually just bought a cello pickup, which I'm super
Okay,
excited for
cool,
because
cool.
we will bring that out for a couple shows. And I can like throw on a lot of effects on it, like all my
Nice.
pedals I can apply to it. So I'm really excited for that.
I saw she was posting to her Instagram story the other day, and it was like her with her cello pickup, and like she was literally posting all of the pedal effects on it. She's like, "Bet y'all never heard wah on a cello."
I mean,
I think also it's kind of nice. It's something that sets us apart a little bit from some of the other bands. That's kind of our unique little thing that we have going for us. So
I mean,
definitely-
we haven't done it yet.
definitely looking forward to adding that
You're
in.
gonna pull out that cello on that house show, and
It's gonna be
everybody's
sick.
gonna be like freaking out, like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my god.
Yep.
But coincidentally, both Faithful as Daisy and oh my god, I'm so far away from my computer. I gotta read it. Ghosts in Pavement are my two favorite songs from the EP because it has that cello and sort of because it's more acoustic,
Mhm.
but still very sort of, I guess, louder and sort of like driving a little bit. That's what I really like about sort of like my music and sort of just like shoegaze in general. Like you can have those soft undertones, that sort of dreamy vision, sort of like acoustic flowing, but you could still have a sort of driving force that still kind of puts you through it in general. Is there going to be a lot more acoustic representation? Do you guys like sort of having that acoustic sound in your songs? Like, how do you guys feel about it? Like, what's up with it?
I think like in the future, I don't think we're gonna do too much like no like because Daisy is kind of just an exclusively acoustic song. Like it's the only song that doesn't use electric guitars.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt we'll do that much more, but I do really like using acoustic guitars in songs, like underneath electric guitars, like as
Yeah.
a background.
Mm.
Something REM does a lot. It's like my favorite band ever.
Yeah.
So I'm like a really big fan of just kind of using acoustic guitars as background. I'd like to do that a lot more on the record. Maybe we throw an acoustic track on there.
I mean,
Maybe.
I was gonna say I personally would really love entertaining the idea of throwing on just kind of an acoustic song on one of our future LPs, even without like percussion or anything, just like super like kind
Mhm.
of intimate. I think that would be cool.
Okay. Cool.
We've toyed as with the idea as well of like playing live acoustically,
Yeah.
like with me on Cajon or something like that. In fact, we actually did a live acoustic performance here at NC State a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Um,
saw
so and then
pictures of it,
we have a
yeah.
couple of videos recorded on our YouTube channel of us doing a couple songs performed acoustically. So that's something that we might be messing with some in the future, particularly maybe a smaller venue or something that we couldn't get away with
Mhm.
playing.
Gonna play some brushes. Bring out some
Oh
brushes.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
done that.
The
We've done
drums.
that.
I
So
love
yeah.
Nice. Nice.
So kind of like the Nirvana or Stone Temple Pilots
Unplugged.
Yeah.
unplugged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
My
Yeah.
Sister
that's
Maura
something that we
Unplugged.
might mess with some in the future live. So we'll see.
Our first, I guess, performance, if you will call it a performance, was an open mic at Lucky Tree actually, and
Okay.
it was really well received, and we really
It was.
appreciate that community. They're awesome, and we performed Ghost, and so that was acoustic. That was our first like kind of debut, if you
Cool.
will. But
Cool.
yeah, would love to do more acoustic performances. We have one show coming up that I think we're gonna plan to do fully acoustic. So that'll be
Okay.
fun.
Sick. Sick. I think doing an acoustic performance at School Kids would probably be really cool.
Ooh, it would.
Because the record shop and definitely fits the vibe, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't know, like, I like School Kids in general, just sort of that sort of like smaller
Mhm.
thing.
It's a fun place to play.
Yeah. And sort of, I guess, more transitioning into that sort of local scene. You guys are one of the newer groups, I guess, in the local scene in general. You guys about a year old. You put out your official EP, I guess, like a few months ago, but you guys have obviously been playing for a while. So and you guys have already played like at venues like Cat's Cradle, School Kids, Wicked Witch, and also a whole bunch of house shows. A whole bunch of like really cool like NC local artists like Tiger Beach, Saturnalis, Teens in Trouble, Bang, Spaced Angels. How's it been playing with all these like sort of more, I guess, established bands in these established venues and sort of like coming into it?
It's been really awesome, especially playing with these bands has definitely helped get us out there, and they've been really great to us of letting us play with them and get on the bill and stuff. So it's really been helpful for us just making connections on the local scene to play. But I mean, it's just fun. I mean, what's not to love about playing live music, and especially Raleigh? Just there's so many nice places. We've had a lot of really fun shows lately, and like just recently for me, we recently got to play a show at Durham Central Park. And that was certainly kind of a bucket list for me. I'd seen a band there years and years ago when I was with my parents at the Durham Farmers Market. I was like, man, it'd be cool to play here. So that was definitely kind of a bucket list item for me, getting to play a show there. So yeah.
Also, just huge shout out to Saturnalius,
Yes.
because they really took us under their wing. Because we have kind of adjacent sounds, and so we our bills are pretty complementary to each other. So they really kind of got us into it, and from there it snowballed, and we've been meeting tons of awesome bands, meeting new people, and making connections. So it's been a really great ride.
Cool.
I think one thing that's cool is like just the volume of like actually like genuinely really good bands there are in Raleigh. Like all the ones you just threw out there are all stuff. Spaced Angel, Teens in Trouble, Saturnalius. Like not only are they like playing a lot of music in Raleigh, but they're playing good music and they're releasing good music. And I'm like, what the heck? Like these are local artists, and they're like, that's not supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be.
Don't go together.
That's the nice thing. There's a lot of really awesome talent here in the Raleigh area, so we are really enjoying getting to be part of it.
Nice. So I guess what are your overall goals, I guess, with being a part of this sort of local scene and sort of music going forward? Do you guys want to keep on making music, keep on making those connections, or just sort of see where it goes? Like what's up? Do you have anything planned out? I know they have your music planned out, but anything with the local scene in general that you want to do?
When
any like venues with any bills that you want to play, or just like anything like that, or that's
okay. Katie's like laughing at me, and I'm not sure why, because there could be totally two reasons why she's laughing at me.
You know why?
Well, no, there's two though.
Okay.
Let's
hear it.
Well, when I first messaged Katie to like start this band with me, I was like, I like made a list of like my goals as a musician.
You sure did.
And she was like, "Oh, this guy's kind of creepy. Like, why is he like?"
No. You sent me that you were like, one, I want you can explain your goals.
I don't even remember. There was like record music,
yes,
play shows, or it was write original music,
yeah,
record said music,
and
play said music live. Those are the three things.
Yeah, and
it
was a list, like 1, 2, 3, and I was like, this guy's insane.
But
Still is.
As far as like the actual local scene goes, like because we're talking more about local scene specific goals, those are like more like music specific goals. But for like local scene specific goal, I also have a very big one, which is to play a show at DP Doe.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that. It seems kind of impossible, right? But I just feel like it would be like 10 times better than the Denny's Grand Slam. Like,
we would fit
at DP Doe.
We would fit in there perfect. Having frequented DP Doe quite a bit, with the type of music they play in there, our sound would fit perfectly.
Okay.
If anyone who's listening to this knows someone at DP Doe, hit me up.
Yes, please. We are
Find
trying to
me.
make this happen.
Please find me. I really want to play at DP Doe.
Cool.
I guess
That is my only goal with local. Like, if I do that, I'll just quit. After that, like, what do you have to achieve?
I guess this has kind of been a goal personally mine is try to start playing some more like festivals and stuff as we get a little bit more established. That would really be ideal, just to expose our music to a greater audience, hopefully get more people into us and make some further musical connections. But that can, of course, happen down the road. But even so, we've checked off several milestones, at least for me. Like, for instance, I just mentioned Durham Central Park. Getting to play there was a big
Cat's
one for
Cradle
me.
too.
Cat's Cradle back
Cat's
room. We got
Cradle,
to play there. That was a huge thing for me as well, having seen multiple acts personally at Cat's Cradle. So
I think also some of like the bigger venues like like big-ish venues like
Yeah.
Literco and Lincoln Theater. You know, those are some of the reach venues that you
Mhm.
know
Yeah.
at some point we might be able to play those.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Yeah.
There are a lot of nice venues in the
Yeah.
Triangle.
There is. So I guess how has your reception been of your music that you sort of gotten back from fans and like
everyone
other
hates it.
other people?
That's literally what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Same wavelength. We're just projecting.
I hate my own music. Have you guys gotten like good reception? Like
I'd say
okay
so,
reception,
yeah.
bad reception. Like how are the crowds feeling with everything?
Yeah, actually, okay, so it's like usually like sometimes we go to a show and there'll be like 10 people there, which you know, it happens. But like usually like the 10 people are so nice and like so
Mhm.
loud and supportive.
It's still
which is
it's
really good.
not it's definitely not a waste of time. It's like
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's like making connections, meeting people, even if
Yeah.
it's literally like 3 people.
But
there,
even so,
right?
like our Instagram and Spotify following has grown continuously the more and more we've played. So I'm assuming that means it's being positively received. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And you know, it's fun. We have a friend named Storm, and
He's our biggest fan.
yes,
He
he
is.
came to one of our. We played an open mic at this like tavern,
Max
and
Tavern.
it was rough.
It
let
was.
me tell you, like that's like archived SpongeBob
It was.
episodes that we do not speak of. He was there, and he's seen our evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
That was our
like,
second live performance ever, by the way. So definitely it was.
It was
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah,
So
it was
we-
expendable.
we love getting feedback from him just because he like tells us, he's like, y'all have like improved like a ton. And then like, you know, the people that we meet, you know, as of recently telling us that you know, that they appreciate our sound, really like it. It's really cool just to see how far we've come.
We played a show at Anisette's Bakery. Shout out to Anisette's Bakery. One of the coolest venues.
Yeah, awesome.
What's his name? Jason.
Yes.
Jason.
Jason what though? Does anyone know?
I
He
forgot.
played in
We're sorry we forgot your last name, Jason, but you're
he
awesome.
He played in like Songs Ohio. He works at the library here. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
He's really cool. Anyway, but he has this bakery, Anisette's Bakery, and they have shows there. And but we played there with a group called Hazel and the Problems. It was actually a father-daughter duo. It was really
I
interesting.
do know of them, yeah.
Oh, do you know them?
Yeah, well,
They're really good.
Well, I don't know personally, but
Yeah.
but I do know they exist.
Yeah, their Instagram bio is lovely. It says middle-aged regret and teenage angst. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
this is it. But we played a show there with them, and then after the show, the father came up to me and he was like, that one song that you said right before you played it, and you said, I wrote this song. It doesn't mean anything. He was like, that was my favorite one. It might have not meant anything to you, but it meant something to me.
Aw.
And I was like, wow, that's like the sweetest thing
Mhm.
anyone's ever said
Aw,
to me.
that's
Like, I was
awesome.
like, dang, my heart's been touched.
Yeah, just the community, man. Like the local like the local scene. Like there's so much love in the music community.
There
and
really
it's really
is.
awesome. And like also just like walking down the street and seeing someone that you that you know from like a band or a show. It's, you know, everything's connected. So good to see familiar faces.
Nice. So would you say that like the sort of community, the scene, and like you guys have been very welcomed and sort of just very just
Absolutely.
in general
sure.
just very nice. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, is there anything else that sorry?
Oh, I
Are
was,
you about to say?
I was
Sorry.
saying absolutely. They have been. The local scene's been extremely welcoming to us, so that has really been awesome.
Okay. I thought you said something like under your breath. I was like, oh.
No.
I was like, I don't know if I'm talking over him.
No, absolutely not.
All right. Well, thank y'all very much for coming into WKNC. It was great to have y'all in here and to talk to y'all. Where can we find you? Where can people find you?
So you can follow us on Instagram at My Sister Maura, Maura for Maura. And then you can find our music on like any streaming service, Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp. Even have a SoundCloud.
You have a
YouTube.
SoundCloud?
We have a SoundCloud.
You can also
Really.
check us out on YouTube.
Oh,
My Sister Maura. So we usually post a lot of our live shows there.
yeah.
So that there as
Yeah.
well.
There's some live recordings on YouTube. There's one of a house show we played recently. That's like it's like VHS footage.
I did
Shout
s-
out
I
to
did see
Adam for
that.
that one.
Yeah, no,
yeah, our
it-
friend Adam did a
From
banger-
Space Angel, fun
banger
fact.
job on that.
Yeah.
Is that the incognito
Yes.
house?
Yep, that
one?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I watched it on your Instagram. It's pretty good. I like that vibe.
We're gonna have to bust out the VHS camera more often.
Wait, that's an actual VHS camera.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it's like a
Oh
real
my
one.
God.
Yes, it's pretty cool.
That's that's awesome.
No, we're real, bro.
Yeah.
We're not posers. What?
Dude, nice.
I'm just
Exactly.
kidding.
That's awesome. All right. Well, dope. Thank you all so much again. This has been WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. You've been listening to Off the Record. Thank you again, My Sister Maura, for coming out. I'm gonna take you, the listener, I'm gonna put on both Faithful as Daisy and Ghost in the Pavement from My Sister Maura EP, Faintest Screams. All right, talk to you later. Peace.